Okay, central tendency. Now, this is a topic that has probably been covered all the way back to like grade 5 or 6, so some of this might seem pretty easy to you. But yeah, I promise you it is going to get a little more complex. So central tendency just means if I have a set of numbers, what is the most typical number? Now there's a lot of ways to interpret that statement. So, for instance, and this is one you may be most familiar with, there's the mean. The mean is also often referred to as the average. And all that is we add up the total of all numbers in the data set, so all values, actually should say the sum of all values. So the sum of all values over the number of actual values. So in this case, that would be 2 plus 3 plus 7 and so on. And I believe that's going to give us, let's see, 37 plus 18, 55, 75 over 9. There's 9 numbers there. So the mean here is going to be 8.33. That's the mean. So that's one way of saying that the typical number in here is 8.33. But you might be noticing already that there's no 8.33 anywhere in there at all. So is it really that typical? Well, another tool that we can use to determine central tendency is median. And all median is this, the middle value. So when you're driving down the street, you're going one direction, and people on the other side are driving the other direction, and one thing between you is the median. It's the thing in the middle. And that's the same with numbers here, so it's the middle value. So in this case, we've got 9 numbers, and so the fifth one is going to be the median, and it's 9. Now, if there are two middle values, so let's say for instance we had 10, then we would take the two middle values and we would average them. We would find the mean of those. And so we'd go 9 plus 9 over 2, which equals, of course, still just 9. So the median is just the middle value. That's pretty simple. That's probably the simplest one. This is actually also relatively simple, and that's mode. And all the mode is saying, well, what's the most common number? What number shows up the most often? So I should say the most common number or value. In this case, again, it's 9. So median and mode actually give us the same central tendency in both cases. And actually, you'll find that in quite a lot of cases, the median and mode will come up with the same answer, and that's a good sign. And you'll see that actually median and mode are not that far away from the mean either. So all three are coming up with pretty similar responses here. Now in some cases, a mean or median or mode will be more or less appropriate than others. One specific example that comes to mind is if my data set is actually a set of things. So if I go out in a parking lot and I record the color of the cars that are there, I've got red, blue, green, green, black, and another green. There's no way for me to find the mean of these because I can't add them up. They're not numbers. And there's also no way for me to find the median because I can't order them from least to greatest. So the only central tendency tool that's going to be useful here is actually mode. And so mode's just going to say what's the most common value here, and quite obviously it's green. So the mode's going to be green. So mode is particularly useful in cases where the values you're working with are not numbers, and it can be useful in other cases as well.